Da, 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 da. Hey. All right. We are back. Yeah. All right. So this is the pre-happy hour show. I don't do happy hours anymore. I record. All right. So as we get rolling here, little housekeeping. Um yeah, Thanksgiving. This is the holiday season. This is the season to be giving and to be married. And so, as we get into no losing November, because that's the goal. If you are playing right now, your goal is not to lose in November. Because those who are playing right now, look, this people are still playing for pride, for a 500 record, for a winning record, all kind of things. But if you're that team playing for that gleam, the ring, if you're the team playing for the ring or not. And so this is, no shave November. I'm not going to shave November. This is no losses November. You can't take a loss in November if you want to go to the Super Bowl. And so NFL, this is the NFL live recap, happy hour, because Monday is over. You either happy your bets or your teams or your parlays came out or you're not. Monday is gone. Now we on Tuesday. And we're going to recap and talk a little, what's going forward in the next week, Thursday night. Okay, so where do we start? All right. Where do we start? All right, so we should in my pre warm up or pre game, I talked about the Bears and the Dolphins, and I gotta tell you, man, I continue to say the NFL future at the quarterback position is bright, flat out. It is everything. Man, we're looking at an NFL that all of the starting quarterbacks, all of them are starters. Even I know the coach got some situations going on over there, and we'll get into the coach. But as I speak about Tua touchdown and Justin, I will my way Fields because man, I haven't really been high on Fields. Partly because I'm still not sure what he can do. Look, he is very athletic. Like, I had a better evaluation on Justin Fields in college at Ohio State than I do with him being a pro. And I'm not even speaking X's and O's. He just seems he doesn't seem like he's in rhythm. I mean, this is a kid that at Ohio State and he still got ice cold veins. For as much as he's getting shellacked out there, he don't get up yelling, crying, and whining. He get up, brush himself off, let the punter come onto the field, or run into the huddle. Like, the kid is taking a beating. Same to be said about Tua, but Tua's beating has been less about him. Tua's beating was a case of unfortunate events. I think his offensive line has been playing relatively decent. But just the back-to-back concussions and being that it was out of the pocket. If I had to be honest with you, here's what you can't control with the quarterback. The quarterback, if he stays in the pocket, the 5 plus the 6, and if you want 7 with the tight end or the extra running back to pass pro him, like that's the responsibility. Okay. Now, once he start getting happy feet and want to get outside the pocket, like that's no longer technically on the offensive line or the pass pro. Tua and Fields by way of their ability to get major yards, they're going to take some unnecessary hits. And what we found and what we saw into a touchdown, it affected that offense for at least 3 weeks. I would even argue 4 weeks. And so, but watching those two guys go at it was reminiscent of Vic and McNabb. Low key, I gotta just put it out there. I never forget it, but as I look at these two dudes, and I compare when Vic and McNabb was playing against each other, and I look at these two dudes, that was very nostalgic. And yeah, look, that was the best. That, in fact, that's the most points Fields has put up since a starter, 32 points. Tua has actually been known to put up points, but they have not won. So look, you're looking at a playoff Dolphin team right now. How far they go in the playoffs, I'm not sure, because I think the team that you don't want the Dolphins to face in the playoffs, they're gonna have to face. I speak to that because of the matchup part. And the Bears, I wasn't thrilled on Fields' performance, partly because I felt like he was still in a little bit of ultimate football play, where you run, you toss it, and like for him, he's going to have to find a 5-step, 3-step, 7-step rhythm. And right now, whether that's the playbook, whether that's a teaching part, or whether that's how he's absorbing and learning it, let's call this year one. And with year one, he got to go through some growing pains. But I called the Dolphins to beat the Bears. But I will be honest, I didn't expect, and I said if it's going to be a shootout, it still goes to the Dolphins. But what I did not expect is for Fields to play as well as he did in an impromptu manner. Because when he's impromptu, it looks good, but there's no production behind it. And so that was the first time I felt like I could evaluate Justin Fields for what he can be, not what the offense doesn't have right now. Okay. Man, where do we go? Okay, let's talk the Packers and Lions. Yes, we got 2 wins, and I'm taking all 2 of them, right? I'm taking them. I called the Lions being able to beat Green Bay. You probably like, well, yeah, right. Okay, just go check my feed then. If you don't believe the, go check feed, right? And so I'm telling you my justification for the Lions beating Green Bay when I called it in the pregame, and I'm calling it and I'm going to discuss it in the postgame. It had everything to do with how Green Bay, Rodgers, and the rest of the team is absorbing absorbing the old head. Like there's an old head in every locker room, and in every locker room they call him old man. It's a respect thing, it's a joke thing. All of that is all good. But what's happening is in that process of he being a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Super Bowl quarterback. Like, if you're going to be the old head, you also have to be the mentor. You can't be the old head just yelling at cats. Like, and for me, it feels like that's what Rodgers is doing. He's the old head who's just yelling at cats. Do it right. You're doing it wrong. You're running the wrong route. You're lined up wrong. Like, bro, like the beauty of the Green Bay culture is that they've always had a sustainable leader at the quarterback position. And we talk about it in the past, like sometimes you can leave the bread in the cabinet too long and it's just going to get stale. And right now, that's why I picked the Lions over Green Bay. And what you found, for as crappy of a defense the Lions, unfortunately, are in the production value, they play hard as heck. They're just as young. And the defensive coordinator over there, and RIP, the defensive back coach who they had to fire. Like, you can't go this long without making some adjustments. I'm glad that those DBs were able to get a win for the coach who got fired, because I guarantee you that was something that hurt the secondary, that hurt the whole defense. And then the Lions are giving up 36, 35 points a game. They held a team who has the ability to at least put up 28 points a game. They held that team to 9 points. And when they were in, here's the thing. My wife was like, "Oh, the Lions are winning." I said, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Then my mama called, like, "Hey, what's the Lions score?" I said, "Don't do that. Don't do that." Because when you start, because they were winning the entire game. But once you start getting other people involved, that just adds on to the jinx. It puts us in a position where now it's 5 people upset the Lions lost. Suppose it's just me. And so while the game was going on, and when we were up like 6-0 or something crazy like that, I said to myself, I said, man, I even tweeted, I said, we need some more room. Because this ain't gonna fare for us too long. Right? We need a little more room, baby, because it was when we had them up 6-0 6-0 in the second quarter. 8-0 in the second quarter. I'm like, we go into halftime up. To shut Green Bay out at halftime, and our defense has been giving up points like Chuck E. Cheese tickets. That's an accomplishment. And that's not an accomplishment by way of just, Green Bay played crappy. No, that defense had to show up. And whether or not Green Bay or Mr. Rogers had some ill-advised throws, that's between him and their offense and their coaching staff. But kudos to the Lions. Kudos to Coach Campbell. I hope they give Coach Campbell some time, because with time, we will truly find out if we have a guy that the players want to play for. Now, he may not be great on the mic. He may not be great with the media, but listen, Wayne Fontes wasn't great with the media either. Wayne Fontes, they loved Wayne Fontes. And so I only bring Wayne Fontes up because he is the longest 10-year coach in Detroit Lions history, as I understand it, of my history, I should say. And so is Dave Campbell, Wayne Fontes, to where the city can get behind him, but more importantly, the players love him? Only time will tell that. But kudos to the Lions getting a dub on Green Bay and putting Green Bay to sleep. Now, I will say this. If Green Bay runs the table, they will get in a wild card conversation. But for that to happen, Minnesota has to play crappy. And a few other teams got to play crappy for them to get in a wild card hunt. But because the NFL has been a very Dow Jones year, that could happen. That could very well happen. So I wouldn't even trip on that. All right. Next opponent, next team, next conversation. All right. Now, I love New England. Anyone who knows me knows I've lived on the East Coast for my entire adult life. And I have been a Lions fan my entire life as it pertains to football. But I've had some teams that I've, I guess, adored along the way, because I've been a traveling man. I've been a football coach. This state, that state, this state, that state. And so Indianapolis coach just fired their coach. Whether the firing was just or not, we're not going to even debate that. The reason that I spoke to the Patriots beating the coach was One, the defensive value that the Patriots hold by allowing the other team to make their mistakes, and we just capitalize on them. We don't have to call zero pressures. We don't have to do a ton of disguising. We just got to play hard, rally to the ball, and see if they can make big plays. And for the most part, I mean, that will have you in a competitive fourth quarter, that style of defense. Now, when the Patriots is going against an offense that's sporadic, that's the worst thing that the Patriots can have. A sporadic offense with a foundation at quarterback. Well, a sporadic offense and no foundation at quarterback, you have no shot against the Pats, Bill Belichick, and whether he calls it defensive plays or offensive plays, Coach Belichick is saying to his coordinators, okay, guys, look at the menu. Everybody open up the menu. Okay. Take the appetizers off the menu. We're not serving appetizers this week. Take the alcohol beverages off the menu. We going entrees and dessert. That's it. Now, based on those instructions, his coordinators are in charge of the entrees and the desserts. And as they practice throughout the week and formalize the game plan, if he has a sniff of an appetizer going on that menu, or someone serving an alcohol beverage on that menu, like, all bets are off. Like, that coach, first off, that's why all of the coaches that he hires, they already know what to expect. And so he doesn't have to worry about firing coaches mid-season because they did not adhere to the weekly menu. Okay. And so that being said, the coaches are in a position where they don't know who their quarterback is. Therefore, they do not have an identity. The NFL and the higher level of football you play, the identity of the team will always be wrapped around the identity of the quarterback. And so right now, the Patriots' identity is Mac Sauce with a little Zappy on the side. And why am I bringing this up? Okay. Because next week, whoever the Pats play, let's find out who they play next week. Let's see here. So here's why. The Pats are going to get in a situation where Mac Sauce is going to get to a rocky start. Whether when I say rocky start, let's just say they have to punt 3 times in a row. Okay. If the Patriots have to punt 3 times in a row next week, you go see Zappy come in the game. And I'm not saying Zappy is going to finish the game, but you will see him enter the game. You can mark that. Mark that at 18:21 on the timeline, right? And once Zappy comes in the game, that's going to throw everybody for a loop because Zappy has not played in 2 weeks. And so, again, this is the Jedi mind trick that I'm often speaking about with Coach Belichick. Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, he put Zappy in that game, in any game. Okay, for example, next week. The Pats are off next week. How about that? So the Pats go on a bye next week. If I'm seeing this right, yep. They're on a bye next week. And so week 11, right? Let's see who we got. In week 11, they play the Jets. Let's go. They play the Jets. Jets. All right. Now, I've already called the last one. When the Jets took the L. I'm just saying. It's at Foxborough. I don't know. It's too far away. They got to buy. I got to see how the Jets respond next week. But anyway, shout out to the Pats. Don't be surprised if the Pats run the table. That's all I'm saying, guys. Like, I've been out here way too long and the Pats have dominated a decade and like 2 decades of football. And you think this man just gonna go out like Willie Lump Lump because Tom Brady not there? That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Like, and the man got way too much season on him not to know how to get through a season and be competitive. And that's the part, the fan base, you know, you look at it, you're like, Bill Belichick ain't got it no more. The Pats ain't got it no more. Like, dog, you ain't got it no more. Like, be real clear. Like, just because you can't blow teams out don't mean you can't win a Super Bowl. And if you don't remember this, which should probably go down as one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, and I hate to say it, I lived in New York at this time when the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots. Yeah. I'm just telling you. And they were a wild card playoff Super Bowl winning New York Giant team. Now, am I saying a Pats are winning the Super Bowl? No, I'm not saying that. Will they make a run for the Super Bowl? Yes, I am saying that. Yes, I am saying that. Yes, I am saying that. Just looking at the division, they could very well. And Buffalo. Let's go to talk about the B-Lo, the Buffalo Mafia. Now, the reason why, and those who watch the show, I call this one too. I'm not tooting my horn. No, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is, one, kind of prepare you for what this ending is going to look like. This is going to be like a nine win team who might win. I'm saying a 9-win team will win the Super Bowl probably this year. It's not going to be a 10, 11-win team. Like the way the league is shaping out, right? The Jets right now is 6-3, and the Bills stink in their division, but they 6-2. They 0-2 in league. Like, so I don't know. I mean, look at it this way, right? Let me just recap this. The reason the Jets won against the Bills because the Bills do not blitz. If the Bills had to blitz the Jets, they win just because Wilson cannot handle the blitz game. However, the Bills traditionally are able to get to a quarterback with just 4. They were not able to do that. And by playing keep away and clock management, like, that's all you need to know after that. Because in my mind, okay, here's the time of possession. New York Giants had the ball 32 minutes and 44 seconds. Boom. Now, Buffalo had the ball 27 minutes and 16 seconds. But my point is, the way they match up is no question that Buffalo has the better quarterback. But the schematic approach of the Jets is a more problematic on the Bills because of the multiple fronts, the multiple shelf, meaning 2 high, 1 high, 3 high, multiple second level looks, stack linebackers, gap linebackers. That all plays a factor for what the Bills offensive line, quarterback, and running back is looking at. Conversely, the Jets offensively, he can't handle a lot, but the Bills not doing a lot. They lining up and just go beat you. And what the Jets can do well is hit. Whoa. That's it. That man do that, he'll be fine. And because the Bills are not bringing a lot of exotic pressures and a lot of exotic coverages on him, he can manage. Now, here's okay. As we talk about the Jets, okay, and I'm all in. I'm all in because I'm a Jets fan. But this is what my point is, okay? In the AFC East, 6-2 Bills, 6-3 Jets, 6-3 Dolphins, 5-4 Pats. If you think Bill is just about to lay this down, y'all tripping. And if you think the Dolphins won't find themselves in a position where they find themselves getting punked out, watch. Okay, now here's my point. AFC North still is 2-6. The Doodoo Browns 3-6, and the Bengals 5-4. Just broke 500 this past week. The Ravens are legit. So let's say you take Ravens, Pats, Dolphins, Jets, Bills. Done. AFC done. And then you got a wild card still in there with the Titans. Oh, excuse me. I forgot about the Titans. Titans go clinch. The Colts, Jags, Texans. They not going nowhere. They out. They ain't none of them gonna even be in a conversation. And so like watch how this ain't gonna be a no-brainer at the end of this. Every game's gonna matter. And not only will every game matter, like your team may be playing upset. So that's why you gonna keep watching. And I also want to address another thing. This whole are they tanking it thing. Meaning the Colts. Because they hired Coach Saturday. Coach Saturday. Yeah, I don't think they're tanking it. And someone asked, man, why they didn't hire one of the black coaches on the staff? I don't know. I wasn't there. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Here's what I can say. If you bring in Jeff Saturday after losing to the Patriots, you're not bringing in Jeff Saturday to appropriate a scheme or to demand a certain way, a certain playbook. You bringing in Jeff Saturday to, one, stabilize culture as a Super Bowl winning center. Two, like he's in the media also, so he's gonna just be transparent about, look, this is what we see, this is what we go change. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel a way about them hiring Saturday, but at the same time, I don't feel a way about them hiring Saturday. Like to bring in another, like, here's why. Okay, I'm get ready. I'm on my soapbox. The gap between the coaches in the NFL and players in terms of thinking are growing in every season. That gap is growing every season. The social emotional gap is growing every season. Is Jeff Saturday go close that gap? I think that's the thought process. But Jeff, roughly my age. Jeff ain't played in 10 plus years. Though last time he played was a Super Bowl winning center and a Super Bowl winning captain. This gonna be a tough one. Now, again, here's what I can say. Players know locker rooms, and once a player in the locker room, always a player in the locker room. And so I expect them to find out. I look at Jeff Saturday as the forensics coach. His job is to tell the GM and the owner what exactly is going on in the locker room that they can fix, diagnose, trade, waive, cut, or fit, or like train out of. I mean, look, if the coach went out, is Jeff Saturday go be the new head football coach at the Colts? It would be no reason for him not to. Although I've seen crazier things happen in football where coaches do well as interims and they don't get hired. And I mean, that's just a fact of athletics. Yeah. I don't know what Jeff Saturday's plan is for that job. I'm not against it. I'm not knocking the hustle. I'm intrigued. I think that Pandora box will be even more intriguing. because there will be probably more former players without coaching pedigree that you could argue are more than capable leaders to be a head football coach without having to understand all of the schematics and X's and O's. So yeah, that might get interesting moving forward down the road. I would love to see where this goes, and I wish them all the best. I don't wish no bad blood on nobody. I would imagine there was a coach on that staff that the players would have played for, that they didn't have to go pull Jeff Saturday out of the media. Like, they pulled this man out of his media chair, like, Jeff Saturday, present. Like, I ain't mad at you, Jeff. Go do your thing, man. I wish you all the best. Stabilize the locker room. And inject some juice in there, because that right there alone, juice. Because here's what, when you infect a locker room, or when you infect a culture with juice, here's what I can tell you juice does. People who don't receive the juice, like if you're like, hey, drink this, and they be like, oh, that was it. That's all we missed. When they say, oh, he drinking the Kool-Aid, that means the juice is working. They injected them, and it's giving the output that the juice is desiring. Now, when they say, oh, he's drinking a Kool-Aid, and it's not working, that's noise. Like, because if you are all in and you taking the juice that Saturday is bringing, they'll play hard. Now, the coordinators and the play callers' job is still to do their job. That's their job. I don't expect the coordinators to not do their job because they're not comfortable with who the hiree is. I do expect Coach Saturday to understand that he jumped the line, but good leaders know when they jump the line that they got to address them jumping the line with the people who are in line. And great leaders address it off the top. Mark that. All right. This one was a good one. I called the Titans over Chiefs. The Chiefs got it done. They won by 3, period. The Chiefs beat the call. That's the one game that I called and I lost. I called that game, lost. And all I can say is the Titans will still be in the dance. And here's the deal. The Titans right now, they're that team that, if you ask me, they're right where they want to be. They haven't peaked yet. But when they peak, hello, hot coffee. Because for me, their running game is too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. I know. I don't want to get sued by Hammer. So, man, this dude is a problem. And so, yeah, they haven't even peaked yet. I love the creativity of the offense. I love how they just like, look, we running right here. Do something. I love that. And to be honest, their defense held the Chiefs to 20 points. So I'm telling you, the Titans are going to be okay. They haven't peaked. They're in the prime spot to where no one's really talking about them. They're silently approaching the playoffs with the right amount of juice. They lose in overtime by a field goal. Everybody is going to be feeling the way about these OT rules, but I'm just telling you, like, don't trip on the Titans. They're okay. And it is true. The Chiefs are still good. They are still good. As long as King Henry keep doing what he's doing, they're going to be fine. But look, here's why I'm even talking about it. This man, Patrick Mahomes, threw the ball 68 times. That got to be an NFL record. I don't know if it is. I don't know the last time 68 passes were thrown. And out of the 68 passes, how many do you think he completed? 43 of them. Greatness is upon us, guys. Fan base. Like, greatness is upon us in the NFL, and it's just about on every roster. Every NFL roster got something great on there that if you just take a step back and realize what some of these dudes are doing, if you realize what Tom Brady is doing, like, what? I'm just telling you. Lamar Action Jackson, what he's doing, the NFL has never been as more talented as it is today. I want to say this though, it has never been as volatile either of a market for coaches. I don't know what to say about that, but carry on. All right. Yeah, so the Titans lost to the Chiefs. Not a terrible loss. They lost in overtime, and they lost to bro. Wait, I don't even want to go through the stats. Juju had 10 receptions. Travis Kelce had 10 receptions. That's 20 receptions to 2 receivers. Yo, y'all gotta stop playing with me, man. Y'all gotta stop playing with me. I don't want to hear nothing about the NFL in the quarterback situation and who stinks in the NFL. If you playing quarterback in the NFL, even the Saints. Look, the Saints are completely outmatched right now. Completely. And you think that defense at the Ravens not humming? You think that defense not trying to tear Andy Dalton head off? Like, I'm just telling you, look, you cannot be in the NFL and be weak. Like, you might not have the great top end production, but if you are an NFL starting quarterback, you are better than you are 1%er. And it's very easy for a fan or very easy for media or very easy for me to sit on my couch and throw chips in my mouth and say he stinks. I'm telling you, Andy Dalton threw the ball 19 for 29. He threw a pick, yes, but he threw a touchdown. And we all know the Saints are right now. They're underdeveloped. They're underdeveloped on the coach. They just lost a Hall of Fame coach who's now behind a desk in the booth. Pre-game speaker. Like, and they going up against the mighty Ravens. Like, sometimes games just got to recognize game and where we are as a program. But 27-13, they battled. So I'm just saying, look, man, respect the game. The only thing I would say is they could have just, like, at some point, Kamar, I don't know what's going on with him, but you would think they would just overfeed him. But again, if you know you're down, look, let's not burn Kamar out and we don't have him next year. And let's like, when you're losing, sometimes it's okay to start practicing. like don't mail it in, but refocus what we do every day and why we do it. Look, right now they're 3-6. The Saints run the table. They can find themselves at 9 wins. Is that likely? No, it's not. Just solely based on their market. But be that as it may, like, they have a few young receivers. They got a few young linemen. I'm not telling you put them in the game and sell the game up ship, but you need to find out, can these dudes play? Case in point, we lose 2 centers my first year as a head coach, and we had to play a freshman from New Jersey. I don't want to call out his name for the sake of legalities. I don't have no contract signed for these people. We threw this man in the fire as a freshman at guard. He fought his tail off. Played better than every lineman on that day. I mean, he took a whooping, though, but he played his tail off. You could argue that might have been the best game of his career because he jumped in and he had to figure it out. It was like flight or fight. He fought. And so the Saints are trying to figure out who's gonna fight or who's gonna fly away. Yeah. So like respect that it's hard to win. Respect every quarterback who is starting in the NFL is a legitimate starter in the NFL. All right. Which takes us to my man. They tried to write me off, but I ain't write back. Geno Smith. What you know about? What you know about Geno? You don't know nothing about Geno. Here's what I know about Geno. He came into the NFL in a media market that's brutal, replacing Sanchez, replacing a Rex Ryan team. Get punched in the jaw, breaks his jaw. Like, you talk about a rocky start. The best thing that happened for Geno is someone signed him and put him on the bench for him just to get the New York Jets drama off of him. Now Geno Smith, and here's, if you don't know, Geno Smith is a Florida product, West Virginia Mountaineer who threw the ball 40, 50 times a game at West Virginia. If West Virginia had made a real run, he would have been he might have won a Heisman. He was a Heisman finalist, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check that. And so everybody's like, man, Geno, is Geno coming back? Yeah, he ain't went nowhere. Geno was a player, just New York, man. Whenever you get on a team, you get drafted by a team who ends up either firing the coach that was somewhat successful or that pushed it and the fuel ran out of the tank. That next quarterback, like they're refurbishing everything, and they're refurbishing it with you being the new piece that they refurbish it around. That's a tough deal. And you in New York? Like everything you do at practice, everything you do in Manhattan, every time you go out, that's gonna make the paper. And yeah, that's that. That's what happened to Geno. All right, I think I got to get back to daddy daycare. So hey, this is Coach Malik Hall. Catch up with Coach, and you are caught up. Until next time, peace.